So we've let these grow for a little bit over a week, and what we want to do is we want to take a knife. Now, we're using special trays. You don't have to use special trays to grow microgreens, but we're using something which actually has small holes on it. So what we'll do is we'll put the cocoa core on top of here, and then we'll put the seeds. I have a tray underneath as well, so when I water it, any of the excess water will go to the bottom of the tray. So I want to make sure that the cocoa core is moist, but see all the water coming out of it? That's too much water. We just want to make sure it's moist, and squeeze out a little bit of water, and then we're going to put a fine layer over here on the tray. It's interesting to note that the microgreens need only three things. They need the seed, they need light, and they need water. That's it. They don't need the cocoa core, because again, the cocoa core is not providing it any kind of nutritional value. So it's amazing that the seed itself actually has all of the nutritional and all the food that the microgreen will need. Okay, so now that we have the growing medium on here, again, this is nice and moist. We're going to be adding this seed. So we're going to be doing two kinds of microgreens today. We're going to be doing peas, and we'll also be doing broccoli. Let's do the peas first. And what we want to do is we want to make sure we have a dense covering of the peas. Now that we have a layer on there, again, some of them are close to each other, some not, but we'll spread them out as best we can. We want to try pressing them down lightly into the cocoa core. The next important thing is to make sure that we water these, give it a little bit of water. So all I'm going to do is just spray and get a nice coating of water on here. Okay, so now that we have everything nice and wet, the next important thing to do, and it's very, very important, is we must weigh it down. We must put something on top of here to weigh it down. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use another one of these trays to put on top of it. We're going to have to wait a few days and keep on checking it to see if it starts sprouting. Once it starts sprouting, we will then go to the next step. But as of now, we're going to move this. We're now in the greenhouse where it's a little bit chilly. We're going to move this indoors to the growing room, and we'll show you that in a minute. But what I want to do first is we have also the broccoli microgreens, so we're going to go through that as well. So these seeds, as you can see, are extremely, extremely small. This will take about, it says 6 to 8 days to start actually coming up. And of course, what we're going to have to do again is we're going to press it down into. Again, whatever medium you plant in, you want to make sure that it has holes in the bottom so any excess water can drain. You don't want to have it standing in water. It will not grow well. We're going to, again, put water on there. Now, one of the things that's important to remember is that we must keep this stuff moist. So even though we're going to let it sit with a cover on top of it for a few days, we need to check it to make sure that it's moist. If it's not moist, we must come down with the sprayer and we must moisten it up again. Once the little shoots start coming out, then we'll have a better idea of how much we need to water it. But again, initially, we want to make sure that it's always kept moist. So tomorrow, we'll actually check this and we'll see if it did get dry. It will, we will then have to come and we'll have to put water in it. Now, the good thing about the cocoa core is that it's going to keep it moist. So if we were planting in a potting soil, it may dry up really quickly. The cocoa cores actually keep the moisture within the bed itself. So we're going to move this downstairs, and I will show you where we're going to have it, and we will let both of these trays sit for a few days, and we'll check them every couple of days to make sure that no shoots are coming out. Once shoots start coming out, then we go to the next step of the process. So we brought this inside now out of the two trays. We have something heavy on each of the trays, and again what we'll do is we will every couple of days, maybe tomorrow I'll come down and check it, and then we'll check it a couple of days afterwards. We want to make sure that it's in total darkness now. So even though there's a light up here, we have the second tray on top and we have it pressing down. So there shouldn't be any light coming in. The seed needs to germinate, and then after germination, then it's going to use photosynthesis to make it grow. So we're going to leave this for now. We're in a temperature of about 65 to 70 degrees down here, and that's a good way to germinate it. So we'll check back on these in a couple of days. So we've let these grow for a little bit over a week, and what we want to do is we want to take a knife. Some people will use this to make sure it's clean, and we're going to cut it about an inch below or above where it's growing. So just take a knife, run it across, just watch your fingers, and you'll see these are dirt over there. Pull that one out. These are our broccoli microgreens. Okay, so we're not going to go through the whole thing here. I just wanted to show you how they look. Let's take a look at the peas now. And the peas will pretty much do the same thing. We'll grab them, and we'll run our knife across it. And again, these are our pea microgreens. So what you'll probably do is you'll throw these in a salad. You could eat them if you want to, like that. But that's how we grow microgreens. Fairly easy. Didn't do much of anything on these. So you could see we have water, but we have all of these roots just growing. Again, didn't put any chemicals in, just put water in. And let's look at the peas. The peas will be about the same thing. Same thing with the peas. Okay, they've used up all the water. We need to put more water in them. Now, the interesting thing about peas is you can actually grow these again. So if we cut these and just leave them, they'll start growing their shoots again. When we first planted these, I told you that we're going to keep something on top of them. Every couple of days or every day, we need to come down and check and see if they started sprouting. Once they start sprouting, we need to take the covers off because they need to get the light in order to photosynthesize and turn green. So remember that when you're planting these, come down every day or check your microgreens every single day. You should always have water in the base. Okay, so there should always be water down there, and you always want to make sure that when you first plant them, they're nice and moist on the top as well. And then keep on putting that cover back on until you start seeing the plants coming up and start germinating. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button, and we'll bring you more of these throughout the year. Thanks for watching.